Hello, very good to see you.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, not too at home with the Prime Minister. Not quite in the bunker, but facing a barrage of criticism from press and his own colleagues.
Well, people want to look for holes and problems. And
Partly because in his EU deal, some say he's delivered much less than he promised in the general election. Everybody happy?
Good, thank you.
Great. Most people reading your manifesto took it as meaning no payment of in-work benefits to migrants for 4 years and no payment of child benefit to the families of migrants if they live outside this country. You have compromised, haven't you?
People said you'll never get a 4-year break on benefits, but it's 4 years that we've got. People said you'll never end something for nothing, but we have. So I'm happy to be judged.
But you have given ground, in other words.
It's a negotiation.
Your friend has a fortnight, I think, in which to salvage his reputation as a negotiator.
Even a school chum needed a bit of persuading.
Perhaps I could ask the Prime Minister how these changes as a result of this negotiation will restrict the volume of legislation coming from Brussels, will change the treaties so as to assert the sovereignty of this House of Commons and of these Houses of Parliament.
So he needed an unusual ally to make the European case with him.
The Labour Party is committed to keeping Britain in the European Union because we believe it's the best. Don't get too excited, let me tell you the rest of it. Because we believe it is in the best framework for European trade and cooperation in the 21st century and in the best interest of people in this country. But we believe the Prime Minister has been negotiating the wrong goals in the wrong way for the wrong reasons.
Now, the Prime Minister's Europe-sized headache comes from within his own government. The leader of the House, Chris Grayling, a dead cert to campaign for EU exit, along with Work and Pensions Secretary Ian Duncan-Smith, who will be joined almost inevitably by the Culture Secretary John Whittingdale, by the Employment Minister Priti Patel, and likely as not by the Northern Ireland Secretary Theresa Villiers. Now, a number of those in your cabinet who will vote to leave the EU say they're a bit fed up with you because they thought there was an understanding there'd be no campaigning until the Cabinet's formal decision. And they believe you've started campaigning already.
Well, the negotiation isn't finished. We don't know the full nature of the deal that we will get. So everyone in the government is committed to get the very best possible deal for Britain.
Is there any chance that you'll let your more Eurosceptic ministers speak their minds?
I'm not asking people to twist themselves in different directions and say things they don't believe, but actually it's in the country's interest, whatever your view in the end, that we get the best possible deal to put in front of the British people.
David Cameron was tonight entertaining Erna Solberg, Prime Minister of Norway, which thrives outside the EU and is seen by some as a model for how the UK could do so too. Except she recently told me she thinks Britain would be better off staying in the EU club.